Hi again. This is part 3 of the MIT capstone restaurant project. And I'm Hadil, trying to explain the deployment, additional features, and application demonstration for the restaurant project. After pouring in hours of hard work, your Next.js project is now complete. What's next? It's time to deploy. I have an intriguing idea in this video. I'm going to deploy my Next.js application into Vercel, and to my home web hosting. I will focus on not to a well-known cloud provider, but right from the comfort of my home. Usually, I would deploy to one of the familiar cloud providers like Amazon, Azure, Vercel, Render, among others, as I did successfully in Vercel. But in this session, I'm going to deviate from the beaten path. I'll be deploying the Next.js application directly to a home website. I'll also show configuring the public IP inside my home router and assigning a domain name to that IP. It's an intriguing endeavor and an excellent way to grasp the fundamentals of web hosting. While this may seem like a daunting task, I'll give the detailed process step by step. And at the end, I'll have my Next.js application running live from my own home network. I will go little through the process of uploading source code to GitHub. If the project's still not connected with online repo, now it's a good time to create the repo in the github.com. After creating the project, there are steps to add the project to repo I will talk in brief. The first step to do this is to initialize a Git repository in the project directory by navigating to the project's root directory in the terminal and typing git init. This command initializes a new Git repository in the project's directory and allows to track changes to the code. Add all the project files to be tracked by using the command git add. Next, to commit these changes, use the command git commit m initial commit. It's time to connect the local repository to the remote one on GitHub by adding a remote, which is a URL that points to the GitHub repository. In the terminal, use the command git remote add origin repository URL. Finally, push the committed changes to the remote repository on GitHub using the command git push uorigin main. Now I will explain how can deploy the Next.js application, hosted in a GitHub repository, to Vercel. After push the Next.js project and now is up to date. Now, navigate to Vercel's homepage. I haven't created an account, so I signed up first by easily using the GitHub account. Once I'm logged in, I will be redirected to the Vercel dashboard. Here, click on the Import Project button. Vercel will ask where the project is located. Select Import Git Repository. In the next step, enter the URL of the GitHub repository and click Continue. You'll now be asked to configure the project. By default, Vercel auto-detects that the project is a Next.js application and provides suitable build and output settings. Click Deploy to start the deployment process. Vercel will now pull the code from the GitHub repository, install any dependencies, build the project, and finally, deploy it. Upon successful deployment, Vercel provides a unique URL where the live project can be accessed. And there you have it. The Next.js application, hosted in a GitHub repository, is now successfully deployed and live on Vercel. In our development journey, we often follow documentation to the letter, yet sometimes we encounter unexpected hiccups. This happened to me as well. Despite adhering to the guidelines, I found that the backend would occasionally stop working inexplicably. The APIs weren't responding as they should, which presented a significant obstacle. In search of a solution, I ventured to host the application on Azure Web App and even tried Amazon. Unfortunately, these attempts didn't yield the desired results. It's a little unconventional, and that's exactly why I found it exciting. I decided to host my web application entirely on a local machine, while keeping the other services like MongoDB, Amazon Image Storage, and Stripe connection online. I've discovered that this method is surprisingly straightforward. Each device connected to a home network has its unique IP address, and the router itself holds a public IP address accessible from outside. In my case, AT&T, like many service providers, gives a public IP for your home network. The goal was to direct incoming traffic from this public IP to my local machine inside the home network. Fortunately, most routers have a configuration page where you can set this up. I set my local IP, 192.168.1.120, to handle any incoming HTTP traffic. This setup ensures that any external HTTP requests are directed to my home server. Once I had this up and running, I was able to access my website from anywhere outside my home network. I even tested it on my phone's provider network by typing the public IP address into my browser. To make this more user-friendly, I decided to buy a domain name and assign it to my public IP. I purchased a cheap domain name, masterpoint.us, from GoDaddy.com. I updated the DNS settings of my domain to point to my public IP address. Within an hour, it was live. Now, by navigating to http://masterpoint.us, anyone can access the web application hosted on my local machine right at home. Isn't that something? Let's dive into the app to check its functionalities. I will show you how to register a new restaurant on our platform. As a first step, you'll need to sign up as a user. Make sure you select the restaurant option. Proceed by filling out the necessary details. Start with your restaurant name, a description that best suits your place, and then choose a username and a secure password. Once you successfully complete the sign-up, you'll be automatically redirected to your new restaurant dashboard. This dashboard is where you can manage everything about your restaurant, including the creation of new dishes. To create a dish, click on the Add Dish button. A form will open up requiring specific details about the dish. Fill out the name, description, and any other fields required. Next, upload a tantalizing image of your dish. This will give your potential customers a mouth-watering preview of what to expect. And there you have it. Your dish is now live and ready to entice food lovers. Now we need to sign as customer to find dishes, choose customer sign up and fill required fields. After successful sign-up and then login, now the list of restaurants and dishes are available and can choose that new dish, and can be added to order with desired number of plates. Order page will list the dishes that the user selected from different restaurants and gives ability to change the number of plates before make the payment. When everything looks as expected, now it's time to make order. This will use the Stripe component that will handle all the security and connection to get money from credit card, but in this scenario, I'm using the testing number to make that order working for code developing purpose only. After completion there is a notification tells the user the order went successfully. To check the order details and the history for all old orders that been saved in MongoDB, the user can open my order page and can see a list of orders and the details for each one. I enjoyed working with this project, and I have some future plans to improve it, especially to make it more secure using HTTPS, and also add Google Map to track the order. Then I like to use a tool for SMS notification to let customer know exactly the places that their order are in. I hope you enjoyed watching this demo. Thank you.